Hello, welcome back to English Masters Daily Lesson. Today we're going to take a look at another problem related to language. In the previous lesson, we talked about the development of language, how it first came into being, and how it absorbed the different sounds of natures, as well as was accompanied by the different gestures during the course of interaction. Today, we'll try to answer this question, which is a very important one. What is language? So we know how it developed, but then do we know what exactly it is? How do we define language? What is language? There are many different definitions of language. Different linguists, different researchers, different teachers, as well as other people have come to think about language in very different terms. And in different fields of study, language has also been defined in very much different ways. Now we're going to take a look at one common understanding of how language is viewed. Basically, everybody nowadays will share the common belief that language is a tool for communication. But what kind of a tool is this? Basically, it is a systematized tool. System, remember that. It has to be systematic. The purpose is for communication, and it takes two forms. It can be written and it can be spoken. So language can be understood simply as a systematic or systematized tool of communication that can be spoken or written. Now we have understood what language is. So what else do we need to know about it? We got to answer this question. What are the functions of language? We know that language is a communication tool, but what functions exactly does it serve? How many functions are there? And over the course of communication, what can language do to help us? Also, there have been many different views on the functions of language, and now we're going to take a look at a point of view of a very famous researcher, Jacobson, in 1960. He observed language, the development of language, the use of language into society, and he came up with 6 basic functions of language. The first one, called referential. What is referential? By the word referential, we know that language is used to refer to something. For example, when I talk to you about my dog, I say, okay, this is my dog. It's a lovely dog. My dog name is Jody, for example, something like that. So we say referential is used. The language is used to talk about something, to refer to things or people in the real world. It's called referential. That is my teacher. This is my pen. These are my hands. This is my face. And this is a video that you are watching. Referential. The next function is called poetic. From the word poetic, certainly you would have guessed for yourself what it means. Poetic, literary, when language is used for its own sake. We see language, it doesn't necessarily refer to things or people in the actual world. Sometimes it is used in a more meaningful way, in a more, let's say, poetic way, with lots of, let's say, what do we call it? Shiny meaning. That's it. Or let's say metaphorical. So poetic is like a literary use of language. I'm gonna take an example of this poem written by Shakespeare. Let's say, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. ... So long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Well, we see most of the language in this poem does not actually refer to anybody in the real world, but it is a literary use of the language. And we say the function is poetic. Now we are going to take a look at the next function, which is emotive. Emotive is when the language is used to talk about, to express your own emotion. It is also called expressive or affective. So when you're surprised, you can say, wow, this is amazing. This is such a lovely video. This is so funny. I'm going to take a look at this one more time. I'm going to refer to this to all of my friends. Or when you are too surprised by something, you don't even believe your eyes. You're going to say, wow, holy cow. Right. Or holy shit, or holy F, something like that. Emotive use of language used to express your emotions. The next use is conative. Conative. Remember the pronunciation. When we say conative, this is no longer about yourself. This is about the other person. We understand that during the course of communication, sometimes we need to address another person. So for example, when Jerry says to Tom, Jerry is the addresser and Tom is the addressee. Jerry is the sender, Tom is the receiver of the message. Jerry said, get the fuck out of here. So that is the quantitative use of language. Tom, get the fuck out of here. Let's say Jerry is addressing Tom. And so Tom becomes the receiver of the message, of the information. This is the quantitative use of language when you are addressing someone in order to attract their attention. You know that, okay, I'm talking to you, you better listen to me. Watch this video one more time in order to understand everything better. That's it, something like that. Quantitative use. The next use of language is phatic. Not emphatic, but phatic. When we say phatic, it relates to, let's say, interaction. The interactional aspect of language. And when we say interaction, we mean over the course of communication, we have to address another person. We have to say hello to them. We got to say goodbye to them. So for example, when Adele was writing her song to whoever it was that she had in mind, it can be considered as the phatic use of language. Hello from the other side. So hello or goodbye or whatsoever. Those phrases can be called phatic because they are used in interaction in order to catch the notice of the other person. Finally, metalingual. When we say metalingual, how do we understand it? Meta means referring to something itself. Metalingual means using language to refer to the language. Metacognitive meaning using thinking to talk about thinking. Metalingual is the use of language to discuss language. For example, when I correct your essays, I use my language to correct your language. I use my language to describe, to analyze, to synthesize, to comment on your language. That is called the metalingual use of language. So those are the 6 basic functions of language that Jacobson has summarized for us. Other linguists have also put forward some other functions, and you might want to study more of them. In this video, we have been able to answer the questions of what is language and how many functions it can serve. You may want to watch this again in order to understand it better, to grasp the idea of language and the function. And I suggest you study more. Google the word language and Google functions of language. We have many other problems related to it. For example, language functions. Is that different or the same with the functions of language? So you may want to find out for yourself. Thank you very much and goodbye for now. See you.